after the Horned Frogs beat the Cowboys 13-6 about 30 minutes ago here in OKC. You wonder, George, who has momentum in a situation like this? I don't know. These two teams are very even. Seems to always come down to what kind of pitching you have left. Do you get a feel for either team having more pitching in the tank, so to speak?
Well, I really don't, just because of the extra inning, not extra inning, but because of the length of the games and having to go bail guys out of situations. I mean, Tech got a little bit of a length out of their bullpen today. I think that'll help them somewhat. But now all of a sudden you get down thinking, if we win this game, who are we going to pitch tomorrow? So I think you got to hold back somebody until the last second. If you have to use them, you got to use them. But you know what? I can't lean either way for either one of these teams. Both are very good teams. Both are very good offensive teams. How do you try to corral that offense? Good luck.
So you're saying we could have 15-14 in this one?
I don't want to have that. I'd love to have 1-0, but, typical, we could have one of those games.
Here's the Mountaineers who will try to do something about that. Tyler Dones, and then Brandon White, Darius Hill, and Marcus Inman. Paul McIntosh, the DH, then the All-Big 12 catcher Ivan Gonzalez, Brophy, Lake, and the shortstop, Tevin Tucker. Ryan Beckert will do the pitching for the Mountaineers. And for the Red Raiders, Hunter Dobbins. His only other start this year was April 3rd against New Mexico State. He went 3 innings and gave 1 hit. If he can get 4 or 5 innings for Tim Tadlock here in this game, it would be a huge feather in their cap.
Oh, no question, it'd be a huge feather in the cap. And he has pitched pretty well for a freshman. 18 innings, 18 hits, 8 walks, 16 strikeouts. He's given up 8 earned runs over that span. He's had 4 wild pitches over the course of that same time frame. Time will tell what we're going to have to see to watch here tonight.
Don't want to alarm anybody, but we are now under a severe thunderstorm watch.
Somewhere.
No, here. We are.
Oh, right here?
Yeah.
Oh,
not
okay.
warning, just a watch for now.
Okay.
But we will watch that as Tyler Dones leads things off here for the Mountaineers. Leading hitter on this ball club, average .314. Dones 5 out of 12 in this Big 12 championship, 3 runs scored. And 1-2 the count. Hunter Dobbins, you mentioned a freshman from Bryan, Texas, Rudder High School. His dad, Lance, played baseball at Alabama and in the Diamondbacks organization. Ground ball in the hole at short. Young will backhand it. Throw to first. Warren applies the slap tag across the leg of Dones. 1 away.
Second time he's accomplished that feat playing first base. Very, very, very smooth footwork at first base. And another look at it. We saw Young make 2 or 3 of these plays early in the ball game, and then he got the tag as soon as he got there.
Wilson, Noisy, and Holt out in the outfield for the Red Raiders. And you've seen Young and Warren on the infield. Easton Morrell is the third baseman. Brian Klein, the second baseman, and Braxton Fulford will start behind the plate. One and 1 to count to Brandon White. White, 275 hitter. 35 runs scored, really runs well. 25 out of 31 in the stolen base department. And the 1-1. Took it for a strike.
Pretty steady diet of fastballs between 88 and 89 miles an hour, low in the zone. Kid, just go give me 4. If we get 5, it's even that much more of a blessing for us. First curveball thrown by Dobbins in the game.
Two pitch. Line back up the middle. Diving for it is Klein, but it's into center field. So Brandon White has his 3rd hit here in the Big 12 championship.
Yeah, that curveball just stayed up into the zone. You can see Klein try to get there on the backside of it. Had a diving effort for the baseball and came up empty.
Here is Darius Hill.
I didn't feel like West Virginia ran much in the first game today. Did take those chances.
First pitch is a strike. Well, they will run. 92 stolen bases on the year. Texas Tech stole 3 bases, but they had more base runners.
Both these teams built a lot alike. Speed, power, and average.
1-1 to Darius Hill. He's got 3 hits in the Big 12 championship. 4 runs scored. He's driven in a run. In there for a called strike, 1-2. This is the 4th of potentially 5 games today. We had to finish up a game early this morning. These 2 teams played earlier. Then we had Oklahoma State, TCU, and Oklahoma State and TCU have an if necessary game later tonight if the weather holds.
Well, that's the thing you got to look at. They may have to play at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. If they don't, with the turnaround at 1 o'clock, the winner of that turnaround and play for the championship at 1 tomorrow afternoon. If the weather comes in.
Well, TCU, they don't care. Anytime, anywhere. That's where they are at this point in the season, and they're playing like it. Each of these 2 teams assured of the NCAA tournament and likely that they'll both get a chance to host. As White takes a couple of steps towards second base, but then freezes. And a big strikeout of Darius Hill for round number 2.
Yeah, the big hook. This worked well the other night for Killian. The 12-6 curveball that looked like they didn't get a very good read on it early in the game. And he comes through with it here and get a strikeout of Darius Hill.
The Mountaineers did not steal a base in the game earlier today between these teams. As you said, run game was not an impact. Inman, the first baseman, has 4 hits and 3 runs driven in here in Bricktown this week. A tad inside, 2-0.
Jeff Hendricks is the home plate umpire for tonight's ball game.
Inman drove in the first run of the game for the Mountaineers in the earlier contest. And 3-0 now. Dobbins in danger of a walk to put a man into scoring position. Comes back with a strike, and it's 3-1. The bullpen was fantastic for the Red Raiders earlier today. Dane Havman and Ryan Sublett, as they went a combined 7 2/3 out of the bullpen and gave just 1 run between the 2 of them. There goes White, and the pitch is hit foul by Inman. The bullpen, the MVPs for Texas Tech in the earlier game. And you get to this point in any kind of championship where you've played 4 or 5 games, it's all hands on deck. Payoff pitch headed home to Marcus Inman. In the air, first base side. Over to have a look. Cameron Warren near the seats. Can't quite reach it. So we will do it all over again.
Texas Tech choosing not to hold on White on a 3-2 count. With the ball in the gap, he's going to score with speed. I would probably have chose to hold him on. It won't matter. Made a pitch and going to get through the first.
Dobbins retires Inman. Red Raiders coming to the plate for the first time in this one. Scoreless, headed to the bottom of the first. No score to the bottom of the first we go. Welcome back to the Phillips 66 Big 12 Baseball Championship and a winner-take-all game for a trip to the championship tomorrow. We don't know either team that's going to play there. Here's the lineup for the Red Raiders. Holt, Noisy, and Klein. Josh Young has homered in back-to-back games. Cameron Warren slammed one out earlier today. Masters, Wilson, Morrell, and Braxton Fulford, the catcher, will bat ninth. Ryan Beckert is on the bump for the Mountaineers, making his first start of the year. But he's been effective out of the bullpen. 2 freshman starters tonight.
Very effective out of the bullpen. When you have these high profile, you try to find innings for your freshmen that aren't high leverage innings. 15 games, 26 innings, 31 strikeouts. A little better numbers than his opponent.
Holt leads off and takes a strike. 6 out of 14. Holt homered Friday night. Walked twice and scored twice in the game earlier today between these teams. 0-2. One and two. Count will stay 1-2 here on Gabe Holt. Holt, first team All Big 12. 330 average, 49 runs.
That's the whole package. The stolen bases that go along with his average. Runs scored, runs driven in, defense.
High heat, swing and a miss, one down.
A lot of backspin on this high fastball, chest high. Worked ahead in the count. Holt was upset with himself walking away. Why'd I swing at the pitch? Just fouled one off a little bit lower than that. And I swing at this right through it.
Dylan Noisy, the batter. Noisy, just one hit here in the championship. Left the earlier game. We saw Max Marshak come in and play. And Marshak had a hit, but Noisy in the lineup tonight. 1-1 to count. Dylan Noisy's second team All Big 12 this year. First year with the Red Raiders after a season at McLennan Community College. This one fouled out of play. 2-2. So it's overcast. It's muggy. Wind maybe not blowing quite as heavily as it was earlier today, but the balls are flying. We had our first ever Big 12 championship game in which 2 grand slams were hit in the game prior to this. Zach Humphreys hit one for TCU, and Cade Cavanis hit one for Oklahoma State as Noisy swings and misses. 2 gone, both on strikeouts. Defense for the Mountaineers behind Ryan Beckert, Lake and Hill, the corner outfielders. Brandon White is wearing number 3 tonight rather than number 7. And then on the infield, Brophy, Tevin Tucker, a freshman at shortstop, with Dones and Inman completing the right side of the infield. And Ivan Gonzalez behind the plate. There you see White out there. He's made spectacular plays throughout this championship. This one lifted foul and out of play.
Not an overpowering fastball at 90-92, but a lot of swings and misses. So that tells you there's some deception on the ball coming out of the hand. Chad, I think tomorrow we should wear eye black. What do you think?
Okay, I'm down.
You put it on first.
You'll tell me how it looks, and then decide whether or not you're going to do it.
Right.
Well, we're already wearing makeup, so.
Some of us. Not all of us.
You're not? I thought we had a deal.
No. You have your own private makeup artist. I don't.
Well, I need one. This one is up and away, and it's 1-1. Or 2-2, beg your pardon. Klein 3 hits in this championship. 2 of them earlier today. Slow roller, Tucker throws to first, inning over. 1-2-3 go the Red Raiders against Ryan Beckert, and he had a pair of strikeouts to start. He got Gabe Holt and he got Dylan Noisy, and we have no score headed to the second in this winner-take-all game for a trip to the championship at the Phillips 66 Big 12 Baseball Championship. This is actually the 6th meeting between these teams this year. 3 of them here in the Big 12 Championship, including earlier. That's TJ Lake in the top of the 4th, giving the Mountaineers a 3-2 lead. But then an RBI double by Brian Klein tied the game. Josh Young's 2-run home run made it 5-3. Kurt Wilson would add an RBI ground out. It was 6-3 in the bottom of the 5th. Cameron Warren added a home run. There was a sacrifice fly as well. Ends up in a 10-3 win for the Red Raiders to force this if necessary game. 2 if necessary games in this championship. Tournament series history. Tech's first win over West Virginia in this championship came earlier today as McIntosh gets hit by a Hunter Dobbins pitch.
Well, after a clean first inning, not the way you wanted to start this one. Breaking ball just spun out of the hand early and caught him in a rib cage.
So the leadoff man is aboard. We'll see what's in order for Ivan Gonzalez. Gonzalez had 2 hits in the earlier game. 5 hits in this Big 12 championship with 3 runs driven in. The 1-0 misses in. So both of the teams who had the day off yesterday lost today. And it is the Red Raiders and the Horned Frogs, maybe with a little momentum, although probably only as good as your starting pitcher. The 2-0 lifted into right field. Brian Klein, the second baseman, jogs back. Wynn's going to hold this up a little bit. 1 away.
The third baseman, Kevin Brophy.
That'll bring in Kevin Brophy. throw over to first. Randy Mazie was talking about the idea of momentum, and he said, look, the losing team has an advantage because automatically the scoreboard is better for them in the second game. He's right. You know, they lose that earlier game 10-3. It's 0-0 right now.
Yeah,
they're a lot closer.
That's right. 0-0. Go play another game. And once during the college season, you play 54 ball games, then you play some tournament games early on. You still go play. And I think, to be honest with you, I think you play a little looser, a little fresher, knowing that come Thursday you're going to be playing in a regional. You're not sitting home trying to find guys summer leagues to go play in. You're not out recruiting already. You're still playing baseball.
And he was asked after the first game about hosting a regional and how incredible it would be at Monongalia County Ballpark if they could host one. He said it'd be a landmark achievement for West Virginia baseball, and they're deserving of it. This is ripped into the seats, foul.
Just a loud strike.
And it's 1-2 on Kevin Brophy. Brophy 3 hits in the Big 12 championship. I'm going to ignore the dark clouds overhead, George, and just if you ignore them, they're not there.
Quit bringing them up.
Okay, you're right. If I talk about them, that means I'm not ignoring.
I just think it's becoming nightfall, so I'm watching a ball game at night. I'm going to help you out with something here, Chad.
1-2 pitch in the air. Fairly deep left field.
And we've been working together for 5 or 6 years now. And I've said this to you once before, but I'm going to say it to you again.
Uh-oh, you mean you're telling me I'm not learning the lessons you're trying to teach me?
Some philosophical stuff here. Control what you can control.
Sure.
Don't worry about that dark cloud because you can't control it.
So you're giving me the kind of advice with the weather that baseball coaches give their players. Control what you can control.
Yeah. In life, control what you can control. Quit worrying about what somebody else is going to do all the time. What frustrates most politicians.
Here's TJ Lake. McIntosh at first and 2 gone. He hits this one foul. Lake homered in the earlier game between these teams. Got 3 hits in the Big 12 championship. Was his 3rd home run of the year. McIntosh was hit by a pitch to start the inning. He's at first with 2 down. And there's strike 2. This was earlier today. This gave the Mountaineers a 3-2 lead in the top of the 4th at the time.
Deepest part of the ballpark, dead central.
Kind of came out of nowhere. There were 2 outs in the inning. The Texas Tech bullpen was cruising along. At the time, it was Ryan Sublett in the game. And Lake homered off of him. Dobbins trying to work around this leadoff walk, and he does. Swing and a miss by Lake, inning over. Pretty good start for Hunter Dobbins. He's allowed a couple of base runners, but no runs across. No score headed to the bottom of the 2nd inning. The Mountaineers and the Red Raiders. Winner take all for a trip to the Big 12 championship game tomorrow. They're doing the boot, scoot, and boogie in between innings here at the Chickasaw Bricktown Ballpark. Up on top of the dugouts. Josh Young set to lead things off. Those folks are busy right there. They work for the Oklahoma City Dodgers, the AAA team here that resides at the Chickasaw Bricktown Ballpark.
Game day entertainment.
Absolutely. The boot, scoot, and boogie. I could see you with the boot, scoot, and boogie back in your day.
Trust me, line dancing I liked.
And it liked you. 2-0 to Josh Young, Big 12 Conference co-player of the year, along with Davis Wenzel of Baylor. 333, 9 homers, 49 runs batted in, and he's added to that here in this championship. He's homered in back-to-back games, including the game earlier today. Tim Tadlock, as you might imagine, raves about this guy, but says sometimes he works too much. You almost have to kick him out of the batting cages. The old adage about your best player being your hardest worker sets the tone for a pretty good ball club.
Well, they're the one to pick up the phone and say, hey, I'm going to hit. Anybody want to go with me? Doesn't always have to have somebody there as a coach. But if you ask a couple of players living in the dorm with you or in a house with you, hey, let's go ahead. How we getting in? I got a key.
Well, it's funny because I think it was last year we were on the phone with Tim Tadlock getting ready for this championship, and his text message blew up, and it was Josh Young trying to get into the hitting facility.
Yeah, where are you? Said we were going to hit now. What are you doing? Can't get better sitting at home.
Is there a point of diminishing return where you work too much?
I think there's a difference in, quantity and quality. I think you can go and get some quality swings. You'd be locked in and walk out of the cage. I think when you work beyond that sometimes, the huge amount of swings or pitches or whatever you want to do with it, I think it becomes where you have about 20 in a row bad, then you'll spend another 2 hours trying to fix those 20 bad instead of building and being happy with the first 30 you took.
Tim Tadlock has talked about this team. They're better when they just play every day. So they're going to go home an intra-squad anyway if they lose out. As Young drills one to right field. Back to the warning track is Darius Hill. One gone. That'll bring in Cameron Warren. Seventh season as the head coach at his alma mater. National Coach of the Year a year ago when the Red Raiders made their third trip to the College World Series in 5 years. Cameron Warren with a lot of hometown family and friends here. He's from Midwest City, Carl Albert High School. Pulled toward third. Brophy. It's a nice easy hop and puts away Warren. 5 up and 5 down for Ryan Beggert. So much for making his first collegiate start.
Have the mindset you're just coming out of a bullpen throwing extra inning game.
Base is empty. Here's Masters. Cody Masters, 3 out of 8 in this championship. 2 runs driven in. Lifts one into shallow right center field. Who's got it? It'll be the shortstop, Tevin Tucker, and the inning is over. 6 up and 6 down for Ryan Beggert on the mound for West Virginia. No score. For these baseball teams, it's destination Omaha. For softball, it's destination OKC. And the Oklahoma State Cowgirls right there winning a super regional in Tallahassee, Florida. That was the 3rd game, the rubber game against 4th-ranked Florida State. And so Oklahoma State advances to the Women's College World Series. First time since 2011. Oklahoma is a perennial College World Series team. Their great head coach, Patty Gasso, they will be in Oklahoma City to try to win their 2nd national title in 3 years. The Hall of Fame Stadium, not far from here, Chickasaw Bricktown Ballpark, about a 10-15 minute drive. And it will be a beehive of activity next week when those 8 teams arrive Great to have two of them from the Big 12 Conference coming to Oklahoma City. They are redoing the stadium over there. It is a destination spot this time of the year for softball fans. Tevin Tucker swings and misses. That's 3 strikeouts for Hunter Dobbins.
Yeah, both pitchers very good command of their fastball and their breaking ball. Same type of stuff, a little less velocity than Killian the other day. Same delivery, same 12-6 curveball, command of his fastball.
Hit in the air to right softly, and it'll land in front of Gabe Holt. Second hit of the game for the Mountaineers. A 1-out single by Tyler Dones.
Now batting the center fielder, Brandon White.
It appeared to be a breaking ball away just off the end of the bat field. His front side caught it on the end. Big swing, generated enough to dump it into no man's land in right field.
Dones 18 of 24 in the stolen base department. Brandon White the batter. White had a base hit back in the first. There goes the runner, base hit. Charging for third is Dones. Little hit and run action for the Mountaineers produces first and third with 1 out.
Knowing your personnel and what they can do, and this is a very nice job by White. He just took the ball through the right side in the open hole and changed places, put a first-third situation here. Randy Mazie yesterday took advantage of speed, bunted numerous times. Today, the hit and run comes into play.
Back-to-back singles by Dones and White.
I look for White to try to steal a base early. Shut down the double play opportunity. Base hit at score 2.
White is 25 of 31 in the stolen base department. This fouled out of play. The Big 12, the number 2 RPI conference in the country. They got 3 teams to Omaha in both 2014 and 16. 2 teams last year, Texas Tech and Texas. So think about how deep this league is. Texas made it to Omaha last year. They swept number 2 LSU earlier this year and didn't finish in the top 8 of the Big 12.
Yeah, the injuries crushed that team. The guys got hurt. They didn't play well. Finished last in the Big 12.
So surely this league can get 5 teams in.
We'd like to hope so.
TCU might very well play their way in.
Well, they get a win again tonight, and they say tonight could be tomorrow morning continuation. Not to bring up the weather, Chad.
That was you this time.
I know that. If they have to play that thing tomorrow morning, turn around and play a championship game, they could be that team.
Nope, weather's going to stay away. We'll get it all in.
Okay. I know 2 guys that are hoping that.
Bill Dolman, Mickey Tettleton.
Yeah.
They will be here to call the late game tonight. Darius Hill struck out his first time. .308 hitter is Darius Hill. Almost looked like a pitch out. 2-1.
Great running count. Let's see if they do it or not.
Not running, and it's swung on and missed. Darius Hill is all over the West Virginia record books. Most games played. This is his 221st. 77 career doubles. He is 2 shy of the Big 12 record. First in games, starts, at bats, and doubles in West Virginia history. He is the guy you model your program after. Dobbins 2-2 pitch in the air, shallow right field. This could be a test. Dones will tag at third. Gabe Holt's one hop throw, not in time, and that bounces past the catcher Fulford. Brandon White's going to move up. So Darius Hill drives in the first run of this game, and an error moves a run into scoring position.
Now batting, the first baseman, Marcus Inman.
1-0 Mountaineers.
Well, I'm going to give the error to the catcher. That may not be who they give it to because the throw was a little up line. But I can tell you right now, knowing you have speed at first base, this ball can't get by you. You're going to see him go out to try to get to the baseball, just whiffs on it. Then it got by the pitcher also and went to the screen. That's a ball knowing it's offline. You got to go out and block it and prevent that runner from getting scoring position, particularly in this part of the lineup.
So it's a run home on 2 hits and now an error. And here is Inman. Bounces one off the facing of the Sweets to our right. The Oklahoma State and TCU fans left for a little while. They're out grabbing some dinner, getting ready. Then they'll return for a second game between the Cowboys and the Horned Frogs. Inman, a one hopper, right back to Dobbins. Little toss over to first for the third out. Inning is over, but a run home on 2 hits and an error. A man left as well. Bottom of the third coming up. 1-0 West Virginia.
Leading up for the Red Raiders, the left fielder, Kurt.
This is the 2019 Phillips 66 Big 12 Baseball Championship. From the Chickasaw Bricktown Ballpark, downtown Oklahoma City. Alongside George Frazier, I'm Chad McKee. A 1-0 lead for 4th-seeded West Virginia over the top seed Texas Tech in the 6th meeting between these teams this year and the 3rd in this championship. Wilson, Morrell, and Fulford, the lower third of the order, set to stand in against Ryan Beggart, who's faced the minimum through 2 innings.
Hey, your team gave you a 1-0 lead. Just continue to do what you do. Don't try to do anything special. Keep your pitch count down. You've done a nice job of it. 29 pitches so far in the game.
Outside, 2-1. Kurt Wilson has 4 hits in this championship, including a 2-run home run last night in Texas Tech's win over Kansas. '57 home runs as a team for the Red Raiders. Full count now. Strike 3 called on the outside corner. Wilson tried to buy the walk to first base, but he gets rung up by the plate umpire, Jeff Hendricks.
paints the fastball right on the outside corner for strike 3.
Beckert goes to work against Easton Morrell. Starts him with ball 1. This one popped up, slicing out of play. Hope everybody is happy and safe out there. Oklahoma has endured torrential rains, especially a lot of the Big 12 fans up in the Tulsa area and eastern Oklahoma.
A lot of the river communities very dangerous right now.
Morrell swings through that one. 1-2. Two balls, 2 strikes to Morrell. It's a deep drive to right field. Darius Hill back toward it. Makes a running grab onto the warning track.
Boy, nice to see an outfielder take a good angle on a baseball and make a nice catch, and that's exactly what Hill did. He got a great break on the baseball. And then once he got that break, he made it look really easy.
Yeah, we've seen some challenging angles taken by outfielders this week.
Yeah, a lot of balls have gotten by a lot of people. We saw that in the Oklahoma State TCU game prior too. But Hill does a really nice job tracking this baseball, keeping his eyes on it, reach up and make the catch.
Here is Braxton Fulford, the catcher. .280 hitter. He's hit 3 home runs this year. 1-1 the count. One and two. Ground ball to short. Cleanly up with it, Tucker. And Ryan Beckert has gone through the Texas Tech lineup without allowing a base runner. 1-0 West Virginia. A visit with Texas Tech head coach Tim Tadlock when we return. One nothing Mountaineers on top. Back with you at the Chickasaw Bricktown Ballpark, and Tim Tadlock, the head coach of the Red Raiders, joining us now. Hunter Dobbins, not scared of the moment. This young freshman out there doesn't think like anything phases him so far, Coach.
No, Hunter's thrown a bunch of. He's pitched a lot of baseball games. He was kind of the guy down there in Bryan College Station at his high school, and he likes having the ball in his hand. And you know, he's usually around the plate. I don't want to jinx anything right now, but he's done okay so far.
Coach, we appreciate it as always.
Okay.
Keep the energy down in that dugout, man.
You bet. Send coffee. Appreciate it.
Tim Tadlock's team, 1-0 deficit, but Hunter Dobbins has pitched well.
Now, see, Tim is going to be surprised when I send a black coffee in a little while from Starbucks, a large with 2 sweeteners in it.
Well, he said not for him, the others. Just making sure everybody else has their energy. Popped up and off the glove of Fulford.
You know, when you get a run like this as a catcher, if you can get there as a first baseman, take him out of the picture. Difficult for your catcher to get to the front of that dugout. Even though it's supposed to be pretty good sports, a lot of guys say, you got it, you're fine, you're fine, you're fine, and they yell, watch out, about right there. It's a play with this wind. It's going to tail to move around. Easier play for your first baseman to make in that situation.
That's Alek Manoah, the Big 12 pitcher of the year, who came up with that foul ball. He was over there in case somebody went into the dugout.
But he's big enough to catch you.
I tell you what, he's an energy. You can hear him talking on the crowd microphone even when he's not pitching. He's setting a tone in the dugout. Paul McIntosh, high drive, left center field this time. Noisy, Wilson, both there. It'll be the left fielder, Wilson. Manoah pitched in the first meeting in this championship between these two teams, and he was brilliant. 8 innings, 10 strikeouts. West Virginia winning that one. Ivan Gonzalez strokes one down the left field line, twisting and foul. You mentioned it during the Oklahoma State TCU game. Ball's really carrying to left field.
In left field, there's been some line shots, and it's a short porch at 325, and it stays 325 till you get, 100 feet off the wall, and then you see 350. So the ball down the left field line will fly out of here. Right field, not so much.
Josh Young in on it. 2 down. Tim Tadlock was talking about how to restart the engine, so to speak, after you take 4 or 5 hours off in between games. Not easy.
No, it's not easy. That's where you get your club back and let them kind of just stretch out a little bit, move around, get the motor running about an hour and a half ahead of game time. If you can plan that. I mean, Oklahoma State went, 4.5 hour ball game again.
Yeah.
So, I mean, how do you plan it? I'm going to go to the park at this time. We'll hit where you get them. It's kind of like the racehorse. You don't get them hot and then go park them in the stall for an hour and then ask them to go play.
No.
That's a hard thing to do.
And think about what TCU's got now, George. Remember this now. They came out 9 a.m., finished their game against Baylor, then sat out a game. Came out, beat Oklahoma State. Now they're sitting again.
Well,
that's definitely difficult.
Yes. And to think about TCU won that ball game against Baylor 5-2. They turned around against Oklahoma State and threw a 13 on the board. And waiting to come back here tonight, probably around midnight, and start that one.
1-2,
yeah,
check swing. Yes, he did go around. Hunter Dobbins works a 1-2-3 inning. 1-0 Mountaineers. We'll visit with their head coach, the Big 12 Coach of the Year, Randy Mazie, next. 1-0 West Virginia on top. Their head coach Randy Mazie kind enough to join us from just outside the dugout. This young guy, Hunter Dobbins, second start of the year, looks pretty good so far, Coach. What's working for him? What do you like?
He looks pretty good against us. We scratched for one, but it's going to be one of those games. Every run is critical, and our guy Berger, he's throwing the heck out of it too. So got to maximize our opportunities today.
First career start for this guy. He's itching to go, Coach. Let's let him get after it.
Let's do it.
That sounds good. Randy Mazie, head coach of the Mountaineers.
See, I think you talk slower when you talk to Randy because you hold the game up longer.
No, I'm trying not to. I mean, let's get in, let's get a question, and let's go. That one bounces up.
That happened earlier on a previous pitch, and Rodriguez took it off the arm. This time he said, I'm letting it go. You just make sure you move behind me, Jeff Hendricks, the home plate umpire.
There they are, Big 12 pitcher and coach of the year. 34 regular season wins, most since 2009. As this is swung on and popped up by Gabe Holt. Gonzalez with his mask off. 1 down.
Mick talked about that last night. The proper way to do this, hold the mask in the right hand, follow to where the ball is, and then clear the mask far enough away from you that if you drift, you don't trip over it and fall. I mean, it's a simple little technique, probably a little immature to talk about it, but a lot of you young catchers don't do that.
Dylan Noisy struck out his first time. 10 up and 10 down for Ryan Berger. First collegiate start, George.
Well, one that he won't forget so far.
The innocence of youth. Sometimes you just don't know how big the moment is. Just go out and throw strikes.
Well, both these young men are throwing well. And I think that's, when you look at it from that perspective, for two freshmen that came along kind of having some fun, Mom, oh, they don't even come. I'm probably not going to get in the game.
This one hit to center field. White stopped initially, and he just chases that down. You just get out of his way.
Yeah, here's the deal. All right, you've got from your position in right field and left field to the foul line. I got everything else. He has done that this entire tournament.
That is Brandon White. Fun to watch in center field.
Well, playing Bobby Lanier in Chicago, that was kind of the saying. They had Gary Matthews in right, who had a bum knee and couldn't run, and we had Keith Moreland in right, and Zonk was a middle linebacker fullback.
High fly ball to Hill. Burgert's retired the first 12 Red Raiders. 1-0 Mountaineers headed to the 5th. There is Hunter Dobbins. Back to the mound for the Red Raiders. He scattered 3 hits, given 1 run. That scored on a Darius Hill sacrifice fly. In the top of the 3rd, this young freshman headed back out for Texas Tech. Lake Tucker and Tyler Dones set to come to the plate. West Virginia trying to make it back to the Big 12 title game, where they went in 2016. What a year they had down the stretch. Lost to TCU in that title game. If they had won, obviously they would have gotten into the NCAA tournament. But even though they won 17 of their last 21 games that year, they were left out. They came back in 2017, made their first NCAA tournament appearance since 1996. They will get back again this year.
Well, these two young right-handers got in a groove now, man. It's just like pace and rhythm and strike and strike and strike. It's fun to watch. Got defense going behind you. Darius Hill's made a couple of nice plays in right. This ball's going to squirt away from Fulford. He'll get on with a strikeout.
So Lake reaches first after the strikeout.
Well, it's going to go as a wild pitch. Fulford tried to block. He goes down on this baseball, but it bounced. And most curveballs, when it hits the dirt, it's going to ricochet the other way. And that's exactly what happened to Fulford. Tight rotation, hit right behind the home plate area, and then just shot away. Just hope it doesn't come back to do damage here, the way these two guys are throwing.
First base runner since Brandon White's base hit back in the 3rd inning. Here's Tevin Tucker, leadoff man aboard. 3rd time in 5 innings, the leadoff man is reached. There goes Lake. Pitch is swung on and swatted to right. Caught by Holt. He'll throw back to first, but not in time to double off TJ Lake. So Texas Tech, the regular season champions in the Big 12 Conference for the 3rd time in 4 years, made back-to-back finals appearances. Lost to Oklahoma in '97, won it in '98 over then Big 12 member Texas A&M. Crazy they have not been back to the finals, even though they've been to Omaha 3 times. The path not always easy to navigate. But the Red Raiders will be hosting a regional next week at Rip Griffin Park. Tyler Dones singled and scored. This game's lone run back in the 3rd. Strike call to Dones. He's also grounded out. That one a called strike 2.
Trying to work this fastball to the inner half.
Ground ball to Young, up with it. Klein's relay is in time. So a strikeout wild pitch, but it's erased on a double play. What a job by Hunter Dobbins. 5 innings on the mound so far tonight. It is his longest outing of the year. Previous long was only 3 innings. He's in uncharted waters. And we're halfway through this winner take-all game. A double play that ends things in the 5th inning. We'll see if Texas Tech's offense can come to life in the bottom of the 5th. There's one of the many rally gorillas you will see perched atop the Texas Tech dugout. Their strength coach, Torrey Stevens, has, by Josh Young's estimation, about 900 of them in his office. So they just bring them out for luck, put them on top of the dugout. Maybe it'll give Josh Young a little luck here as he leads off the 5th.
Well, you start to wonder with a young pitcher on the mound and a veteran team that can swing the bat like Texas Tech. He's made it through the rounds pretty good through 4. How will it be the second time they see him? You know, they get a little better swings on it. Does he make a mistake? And I think just stay to the groove and let it roll, man. What you're doing is pretty special right now.
Young flied out to Darius Hill his first time. 2-1 the count.
Reminds me of a guy, I'm going to pull a name out of the hat, Bert Hooton. As he gets to his arms up on top, he gets up on his delivery, his front hip opens. But he stays on line once it opens. And allows him to get to the outside corner with some depth and deception.
2-2 now.
If you think about it, the longer the hitter has before he sees the ball out of your hand, a little more deception you have with it.
Young fouls one back.
Not where they wanted it. Wanted that fastball down and in, up and away in the outer quadrant and up of the strike zone.
Opponents were batting just .211 off of Beggert this year in his 26 innings. Shouldn't be a complete surprise, but it's a surprise.
Well, doing what he's doing here, yeah.
He fans Young.
Steady diet of fastballs and snapped to the yellow hammer on him and on the outside part of the plate for the strikeout.
4 strikeouts tonight.
Yeah, right on that outside edge. You get that 4-seam down 12-6, and then you see that rotation coming. Backspin, topspin. Hard to lay off of.
That is 35 strikeouts on the year for Ryan Beggert. He's issued 5 walks, a 7-to-1 strikeouts to walks ratio.
You always think about young kids nervous, wearing the West Virginia uniform first time.
There's the first hit of this game for Texas Tech. It's a 1-out single by Cameron Warren.
Yeah, leading hitter on their ball club getting the first hit. Surprise, surprise. Cameron Warren can really swing the bat.
It is Warren's 8th hit in this Big 12 championship.
He's got a breaking ball out over the middle of the plate, trying to get ahead, strike 1, and then the ball gets ricocheted to left field for a base hit. Not a big deal.
Now Cody Masters, the DH.
Left side of the infield, the only thing occupied here.
Ivan Gonzalez wants to visit with Ryan Beggert. He goes 4 1/3 innings without giving a hit. 2-1.
Just get a ball on the ground, get a double play, get out of the inning. continue to pitch. Got a veteran catcher that's guided you pretty good through this thing. Randy Mazey is calling a pitch.
Popped up. Gonzalez, the catcher, back toward the back screen. Will he have room? No. So 0-1 to Cody Masters. Masters popped up to the shortstop, Tevin Tucker, his first time. Lone run of the game scored in the third on Darius Hill's sacrifice fly. Oh, and 2. Bottom fell out of that one.
Yeah, I'm watching Randy Mazey in the dugout, and with what he does, he mixes numbers with signs off the face. Meaning he'll flash 2, 5, 3, 4. They look at the wrist, tells the catcher something. What are they going to do? Next time it's touches on the face. Rob Walton does the same thing. They never want to feel like they have been picked off from their signs. Skip Johnson, you'll see him do a lot of face touch. You see it doing the signs with his fingers and comes this way. Now you see the face touch by Randy, and basically that's telling him something. First, second touch of the chin, the nose, the bill of the cap.
One and 2 to Cody Masters. He's got a veteran catcher back there, Gonzalez, to handle these pitchers. Masters pulls one foul up into the upper deck here at the Chickasaw Bricktown Ballpark. The winner moves on to the championship game. That'll be tomorrow at 1 o'clock Central. Oklahoma State, TCU will play their if necessary game when this one is done tonight. And the 2 winners will play in the finals. Two balls and 2 strikes on Cody Masters. Just 62 pitches for Burgert so far. And a full count. This might be the first full count that he's had.
I believe it has been, and he's worked so fast, so many quick outs, and that's what happens that second and third time through the lineup. They start to take a peek at you. They've seen your arsenal a little bit.
There goes Warren, and this one is also turned on. That one lands right on the same spot as the previous foul ball he hit up there.
On the same spot. With the blanket over it?
You could throw a blanket over those 2 foul balls.
And they were both fastballs in. He got caught cheating on him a little bit.
How about Warren being on the move there that time?
Trying to stay out of the double play ball.
Shift is on here. Shortstop is also on the second base side. And there's another foul ball.
Warren's going to be down about 10 light pound-wise if he keeps running sprints here.
Warren jogs back over to first base. Another foul ball. It'll stay 3-2. Cody Masters battling away. He's got 3 hits and 2 runs batted in this championship. This will be the 11th pitch of this at-bat.
It's been all fastballs. Now I look to see if they have the curveball. They're going to change some things up here. I'm not sure what's going on.
It is interesting. The second baseman, Tyler Dones, jogged all the way over, and he's in shallow right field, but he jogged all the way over and kicked second base a couple of times.
It's got to be a secret sign.
You think?
No.
They were waiting on Warren to retie his shoe. There goes Warren, and the pitch hit him. Cody Masters, an 11-pitch at-bat, gets hit.
Gave an awful lot of fastballs. This a curveball caught right in the back of the knee. Ow.
Best threat, the only threat the Red Raiders have had. They hadn't had a base runner prior to this inning. In the bottom of the 5th, they have the tying run in scoring position for Kurt Wilson. Wilson struck out looking against Burgert. Ryan Burgert. First time out of the stretch, first time with a little base traffic tonight.
And Randy Macy decided, you know what, we're going to have a little conversation. We're going to slow the game down. I'm going to give him a little breather right now. Walk out, talk to him, calm him down. Hey, how you doing, kid? Well, you know, we got a little traffic right now. You keep calling breaking balls. I won't go fastball. Why you keep calling them? Kind of doubt that's part of the conversation.
Randy Macy out there with Burgert. Been unflappable up until this point.
Yeah, it could be one of those things. Hey, guys, why don't we try a little back pick here? You get him leaning. Let's make a pickoff right here.
He'd thrown 26 total innings had Burgert coming into this.
He's had his feet wet, though. I mean, his feet gotten wet. I mean, it's not like running out there and having 4 innings in.
Mm-hmm. Two and 1 to Kurt Wilson. Wilson 4 hits in this Big 12 championship. As you see, there is some activity out of the Mountaineers bullpen. Addison Jeffrey. Three and 1.
I was starting to get a little bit of action down in the bullpen for West Virginia. Only because this young man has not extended out this far on the season.
High pop-up. Foul ground over on the third base side. Brophy has it. 2 gone. So Burgert gets a big second out. And we'll deal with Easton Morrell.
Now batting the third baseman, Easton Morrell.
Morrell flied out to Darius Hill, the right fielder in the third. Down and in to Morrell. Cameron Warren a single. Cody Masters hit by pitch. They are the base runners. Two and 0 now. And Berger back with a strike. 2 and 1.
Boy, you're pulling for the kid to get this last out in the 5th. If your club would hold on to everything, you end up, you'd have a shot at a win. You have to pitch 5 complete to get that.
3 balls and a strike to Easton Morrell. And yes, he did go around. Third base umpire Casey Moser. A full count. Runners will be moving with 2 down.
Boy, as a pitcher, you just got to forget about what's behind you and running and moving. And Thompson really focus on Gonzalez's glove behind the plate.
Berger, 3 and 2 in the gap, right center field. Diving is White, and he's pulled off another one. You knew he was going to get there. Time and time again, Brandon White has saved the Mountaineers. That might have scored 2 and given Texas Tech the lead. He's spectacular, George.
A couple of hits in the inning. Their base runners going on the move. And White, like I said, I've got gap to gap. You guys take the lines.
Brandon White's been a highlight reel in center field for the Mountaineers. Look at that one. These were in the same ball game.
I think in the same inning. Over the shoulder. No, it's an inning apart. Over the shoulder. Then he came in and got this one. And it's like, hey, I do this every day, guys. What's all the excitement in this one here? With the runners moving and 2 outs, he catches this one off. He takes a lot of pride in his defense. And being able to stop, and of course, who's leading off for West Virginia?
It's supposed to work that way.
Every time.
And he's 2 for 2 at the plate. Has 2 of the 3 hits for West Virginia. Hunter Dobbins scattering 3 hits, giving the 1 run. One and 2. Dobbins 3 hits, 1 earned run, no walks, and 5 strikeouts.
2 of those 3 hits by this man at the plate.
And 2 and 2.
Everyone's waving at them. You gotta let us know. We're gonna make it. We're waving to my buddy's daughter. Hey, you gotta let us know when to give you a guns up.
The 3-2, and he's 3 for 3. It is Brandon White night.
All 3 hits have been to the right side, and that's one thing he does a pretty good job of. He doesn't try to do too much stuff with his breaking ball. Matter of fact, 2 of his 3 hits have come on hanging hooks. Left out over the plate. He did a pretty good job of handling it. Didn't chase the high fastball on the previous pitch.
So these 2 freshman pitchers have pitched 5+ innings, each of them. No walks issued. It can be done. There goes White, head first dive. That hit him, I believe. It bounds into center field. Noisy will not make a throw to third. Stolen base, an error. And another runner at third base for the Mountaineers. The element of speed.
Boy, it changes the whole game, doesn't it? Threw it right down and hit right off the backside of White. Skip beyond your second baseman and shortstop and into the outfield. You're just not going to slow things down with this young man. He is too quick. Caught right on the back of the helmet.
But to his credit, he hops right up. You have to charge an error to the catcher, Fulford. Brandon White trying to shake the cobwebs out. Darius Hill drove in the first run. He drove in Tyler Dones with a sacrifice fly. Now he has White 90 feet away from run number 2. Stolen base number 26 for Brandon White. He's been caught 5 times. Three and one. Darius Hill, in addition to his sacrifice, struck out in the first against Hunter Dobbins.
Yeah, their bullpen's pretty quiet right now. That can change in a heartbeat, though.
3 balls, 2 strikes. I think that one was fouled off Darius Hill's foot. I think he fouled another one off his foot.
Yeah, got him again.
As a sophomore, Darius Hill had 14 hits in the Big 12 championship. He was a freshman All-American. Another foul ball. Lather, rinse, repeat 4 times in a row here.
Time. Can I get a shin guard, please? Not the one that covers my foot, but the one you're wearing, Gonzalez. Has the catcher got an extra?
No chance, Darius. Come on. Go.
Ow. There's ball 4. Well, it pays off. It may be a pained walk to first base for Darius Hill. But the Mountaineers have runners at first and third and nobody out.
Yeah, the quick visit out to the mound now to just try to get things slowed down a little bit. Look down in the bullpen right now. And Beater is loosening up. Clayton Beater is loosening up in the bullpen for the Red Raiders, and Beater has had a pretty good year. They realize where this young man is on pitch count and everything else. Beater, 8 saves, their closer.
Matt Gardner, the pitching coach for Texas Tech. He'll come out for a conversation. Tim Tadlock generally comes out for pitching changes. Marcus Inman ready to take his hacks against Hunter Dobbins, who's been oh so tough to deal with. 4 hits for West Virginia. They scored a run in the third, but a big threat here. Hunter Dobbins, terrific night. 5 innings, 4 hits, 5 strikeouts.
Well, a lot of it looked to me, I mean, you watch this, it's not the velocity that Keelan had the other night, but it's the same repertoire. High fastballs, low curveball, spin the 12-6 hook, get him to chase, and they've done that in the game, and he's been able to command that very well.
Marcus Inman, 277 hitter with 9 home runs. Nobody out, runners at the corners. This will score the run, but it might be a double play. So the Red Raiders will give up a run, get a double play. Mountaineers take a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, 1-for-2 exchange in the middle of a game, you'll do it every time. And it's exactly what the Red Raiders did defensively. You've got 2 very good gloves up the middle. And Josh Young, the second shortstop for Texas Tech. Spin the double play with Brian Klein.
So how important is White's speed, George?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, look at what he has done just in this game.
A lot of
just
guys
look in this game.
You know, changed it. He has saved extra bases.
3 hits.
3 hits. And right there, a lot of guys are still at second base. He was at third and scores on a double play. Swing and a miss by McIntosh. He's 0 for 1. He's been hit by a pitch. We'll see if Ryan Bergert comes back out for West Virginia in the bottom of the 6th inning, but
they've had a little bullpen work going on down there, but you know what? He's throwing the ball pretty well.
1-1 is up and in.
With a 2-run lead, different than a 1-run lead. You look at the lineup coming up, Fulford, Holt, and Noisy. They are combined 0 for 5 with 2 strikeouts against him.
That's smoked into the left field corner by McIntosh. Wilson will gather it up. McIntosh trying for 2. The throw is in time to get him. What a play by Kurt Wilson. He guns down McIntosh, trying to stretch it into a double, and the inning is over. Looks like McIntosh is a little shaken up on that headfirst dive out there. Kurt Wilson showing some Texas Tech defense, George.
He really did, and what happened, McIntosh stumbled coming around first.
Great success for the Big 12 Conference in the postseason. Oklahoma women's gymnastics, a national championship. The Baylor women's basketball team, as well as Texas men's tennis. Oklahoma makes the college football playoff in football. Texas Tech all the way to the championship game for Chris Beard and his Red Raider men's basketball team. And just today, the Oklahoma and Oklahoma State softball teams qualifying for the Women's College World Series. And you've still got 3 Big 12 teams alive in the Elite 8 of the men's golf championships.
Things are good in the Big 12 Conference right now.
Yes, they are. Zach Ottinger, new pitcher for West Virginia. What a night for Ryan Bergert of the Mountaineers.
4 strikeouts in the ball game, 1 hit over 5 innings. He hit a batter, no runs, and leaves with a 2-0 ball game. Ottinger has worked out of the bullpen exclusively over 12 appearances on the year, 2-0 record overall, 12 2/3 innings, 14 strikeouts, and just 4 walks.
Braxton Fulford, the number 9 batter. It's back to the top of the lineup for Holt and Noisy after this. Ottinger induces a swing and a miss. Fulford grounded out to the shortstop Tevin Tucker his first time. 2-0 Mountaineers. Winner moves on to the championship game tomorrow against either Oklahoma State or TCU, who will play to determine that later. To right field, Darius Hill over near the line and runs into foul ground, but hangs on. Ryan Bergert's night, George, you ran through the numbers. What made him so effective?
Strikes, forcing fastball, deception, when he needed to go get a breaking ball, he went and got it. But for the majority of the night, it was all four-seam fastballs. Had a nice little hard, sharp slider. When he wanted to strike somebody out with it, he did. But I felt like the biggest key to him was strikes. I mean, both these guys didn't get over 80 pitches at all. I mean, Dobbins, I think, was like 65 pitches in 5 innings. So 6 innings. Pretty good day of work. I like the comment Tim Tadlock made. He said, oh, he kind of likes the ball in his hand. He likes to pitch. He likes to be a part of the game.
Just one walk and one hit batsman by Dobbins. And boy, there's one fouled off the foot of Gabe Holt. And our plate umpire, Jeff Henricks, going to give Holt a moment to walk that off.
Guys getting beat up, you got a shield on your foot. I remember Barry Bonds, when he was playing, he had that armor all the way up and down his right arm, and guys would throw inside, and he'd hope it hit it. I mean, it wasn't going to hurt him.
He looked like RoboCop.
Yeah, that whole right side was covered up pretty good.
It can cover your shin, but the toes and the inside, the instep, you get one off there, and you will feel it for a few days.
They got some of those fancy ones now that cover down, but it really inhibits your ability to run very well with it on there.
You just wear a ski boot.
Yeah, exactly.
Holt, a liner to center, but that's where Brandon White resides.
Wrong guy. Wrong guy to hit it to. Kind of a lot of people used to say about Nolan Arenado, Chapman, a 2 third baseman, premium third baseman in the big leagues that hit it to the wrong guy. They don't miss it much. If you had seen Nolan at Double-A, you'd have never thought he could be a 5-time Gold Glover and do what he's doing right now. But he made himself a heck of a player, boy. He put in a time of hard work.
Noisy swings through that offering from Ottinger. Noisy's 0 for 2 in this game. He has struck out and flied to center.
You know, guys like Nolan Arenado, Chapman, they want to be the best. They don't want to just be good. They want to be the best at their position. And it's a big difference. Nolan's dad had coached him all the way through the little leagues, like we hear a lot of these stories with Big 12 guys that had their own cage in the backyard, spent the time swinging the bat, taking ground balls, situations all the time. Everybody says, how's Nolan make those plays? He practices them. That's how.
Swing and a miss by Noisy. Zach Ottinger out of the bullpen doing the same thing that Ryan Berger did. He works a 1-2-3 6th. 2-0 Mountaineers. Mountaineers on top 2-0, trying to advance to the Big 12 championship game. They've gotten a terrific pitching performance tonight from their freshman Ryan Berger. Stellar defense out in center field from Brandon White, who is 3 for 3 at the plate and has scored the second run of the night. West Virginia trying to knock off the top seed Texas Tech for the second time in this event. Clayton Beater will be the new pitcher for the Red Raiders. Hunter Dobbins, fantastic. 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs for that freshman. He walked 1 and struck out 5, and now it's Beater who's been critical out of the bullpen.
17 1/3, 35 strikeouts. That tell you anything?
About 2 per inning.
8 saves so far on the year in the Big 12 play. Very, very good. At what he does coming out of the bullpen, a mid-90s fastball at time, good breaking ball, good changeup.
Hunter Dobbins, congratulations for him. He should smile. Had a heck of a night here in Bricktown.
It was a great night. You know, you give up 2 runs, you're supposed to win those ball games, and they may very well still win them.
It's only his second career start for Hunter Dobbins. Berger making his first career start for the Mountaineers. Here's Beater going to work against Ivan Gonzalez. Amazing what happens when walks and hit batsmen are not plentiful in a game, George.
Put the ball in play, allow them to make a play on the ball. Look at the plays that White has made in center field. We've had double plays. You get to play baseball. There's not 35 pitching changes from the 6th inning to the 8th inning.
Gonzalez 0 for 2. Popped up to second base and grounded to short in this one.
And Peter can walk a few people. Those 17 innings, he's walked a couple. Well, he can get into that. 17 in the third, 17 walks, and only 10 hits.
Runs a strike through there in the low 90s to Ivan Gonzalez. Gonzalez, Brophy, and Lake 6, 7, and 8 in the lineup for the Mountaineers do.
Who was the closer for the Baltimore Orioles? Earl Weaver called him 3-pack. Stanton, was that his name? Every time he went to the mound, Earl said, I could smoke 3 packs in the dugout. He'd drive me crazy. He'd walk the bases full and strike side out. Save the game. So you missed out on all those nicknames, Jeff.
Swing and a miss. Gonzalez out on strikes. Well, Beater fell behind 3-0. It works back to get the strikeout. What was your nickname?
Lumpy. Strike, high fastball. Goose Gossage and my brother gave me that nickname, Lumpy. I hit my head and walking into Yankee Stadium one day, had 8 stitches and a clamp put in my head, and came in and got a save against Kansas City.
Well, I suppose Lumpy's better than Stitch.
Yeah, and I've got a belt buckle at home. Goose got me a sterling buckle that says Lumpy on it in onyx. Still have it.
Look at there. You got a belt buckle and didn't even have to win a bull riding contest.
No, I didn't have to. That's right. Well, you can buy those anyway.
Brophy 0 for 2 tonight. He's flied to left and struck out.
Oh, my kids call me Jorge now, my name in Spanish.
Did you ever play in the Dominican?
Yes.
Or Mexico?
I love Dominican. Played there 2 years. Won the Dominican World Series, so to speak. And then we went to Mexico and went to Puerto Rico to the Caribbean World Series. Line shot right at Young, and it'll be caught. It was kind of cool. I'll shorten the story, but my son, Parker, went down in 15, and pitched for the Giantes in the Dominican Republic. And his first start came on the home mound I appeared on in 1978.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty nuts. And they won the Caribbean World Series for the first time ever. And he went to Puerto Rico and beat Mexico.
2 gone. Here's TJ Lake.
Experiences you can't replace. I mean, I'll never forget, I had a maid that worked at the house. I didn't hire him. The club hired her. 50 cents an hour. Wash your clothes by hand, clean everything with a hose and a scrub brush. And when I got ready to leave, she had 10 children in a dirt floor house. And her husband worked in the tobacco fields. When I left, I went down and gave her $500 cash. And I went to the grocery store and bought all these canned goods and gave them to her. She retired. Done.
With what you gave her?
With what I gave her. She'd take forever to make $500. Buy a pretty nice house at that time.
Clayton Beater trying to work a 1-2-3 inning. Just pours a strike into Lake, who's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts.
And the experiences, the memories you have in baseball that may end at the end of your high school career, may end at the end of your college career, or your pro career, nobody can replace those. Whether you're a broadcaster, whether you're a player, whatever you may do, the experiences you have in the game are lifelong. The experiences, friends you make are lifelong. It's just, it's a wonderful game to be around.
Strike 3 called. Well, Clayton Beater looks a lot like Hunter Dobbins, his predecessor. Beater, a 1-2-3 inning out of the bullpen, including 2 strikeouts. Red Raiders, though, down 2-0 at the 7th inning stretch. The top seed coming to the plate. here is our bracket. All that remains is a couple of innings in this one. And later on, TCU and Oklahoma State. The two winners will move to the championship game. 1 o'clock Central tomorrow on Fox Sports. 2-0. West Virginia trying to knock out the top seed, regular season champion Texas Tech. Zach Ottinger back out there for the Mountaineers. Just one hit for Texas Tech. Cameron Warren single in the 5th.
Anytime you have a real fast, rapid arm action like that, that 92, that's not good.
We just had a lightning flash around the ballpark.
That woke everybody up. Got out in left field. And everything was so nice for a while.
Clap of thunder follows.
Well, here's the thing about it. They're going to, first base umpires walking in going, hey, we got lightning, we got thunder. What are we going to do here? Go back and umpire first. If it's in, 10 miles? Is that the rule of thumb?
Then we would be delayed. This pitch fouled out of play. Klein, Young, and Warren. 3, 4, and 5 in the order.
Yeah, big inning right here.
Klein held up.
Right through, right where Gonzalez wanted it. Back foot slider. Uh-oh, Chad's flying. He's looking for the Doppler. Don't show it. We're going to look at a weather radar, folks.
No, if you ignore it, it'll go away.
If you ignore it, it goes away.
And for the weather, we turn to meteorologist George Frazier.
Oh, boy.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Keep rolling up this way. Just keep going north. Keep going north. Don't drop down on us here anytime soon. It's not going to be here long when it does, I can tell you that.
Line shot.
Wow.
Tevin Tucker grabs it. 1 down.
Get your leadoff man at least. If Young takes you deep, it's a 2-1 ball game. Klein trying to set the table, hit a line shot right at the shortstop of the Mountaineers, and he was able to make a play. Tevin Tucker. I think both these clubs, you watch their actions on the field, you watch them play, they like playing the game. They have a lot of fun playing baseball.
Yeah, practice is nice. It's good. Intra-squad, it's okay. But they like this.
Part of that, Chad, for me, when I go to a game, I want to see how you like performing on the stage. The stage is the field. I want to see how you act. I want to see if you sprint out when you hit a ground ball. I want to see how your reactions are when you catch a ball, when you make an error, when you don't make an error. You make a good play. I mean, you watch White in center field make those plays. He's pumped up.
It's contagious,
When the game ends, he's going to the Sports Center. He knows he's going to be on. He loves it.
I don't blame him. 1-1 pitch. 1-2 on Young. Josh Young flied to Darius Hill in right in the 2nd. Struck out in the 5th.
And outfield deeper right now. They'll give up the single, no doubles. As you start to work into the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning, it's no doubles defense.
Ottinger just missed outside. Ryan Bergert tonight. 5 innings of 1-hit ball for West Virginia. 4 strikeouts, no walks. Ottinger, an inning and a 1/3 so far. He's given nothing. High fly ball, right field. Wind may play havoc with this. Long run for Dones, and he can't quite slide over to it.
Yeah, he and Darius Hill both. The wind kind of changed direction here at the ballpark. Neither one of them could get to it.
Well, you talk about the pitching, and you know that West Virginia, led by the Big 12 Pitcher of the Year, Alek Manoah. As we look at the sliding try by Dones. But
great hustle. Great hustle. Thought you could get there, but you also know you're getting close to the wall.
This is more than just a one-horse race when we talk about West Virginia's staff. They lead the Big 12 in earned run average, and you don't just do that with one guy. Well hit, but right at Brandon White, who was shaded that way. Two gone. And Cameron Warren will be the batter. Big swing and a miss. Warren had Tech's lone base hit back in the 5th inning.
Pretty good chance you're going to see this same batting lineup or this order when you get to the 9th inning. Could be in the bottom of the 8th or into the 9th, but you're going to see it again.
Yeah, probably not the last time that you're going to see these guys.
No, but you've handled it well here in the 7th so far.
Warren, a high fly ball. Right field line. This one's going to hang up in time for Dones to make the catch in foul ground. Ottinger back-to-back 1, 2, 3 innings out of the pen. 2-0 Mountaineers. Well, they had a little look at the radar in between half innings here as we welcome you back to the Chickasaw Bricktown Ballpark. But we play on. Impending weather. We had a lightning strike, but not close enough to the ballpark to stop play about an inning and a half ago. And so onward we go to the 8th inning. West Virginia to the plate with a 2-0 lead. And a combined one-hitter being thrown right now. Here they are, looking intently at the radar.
Well, it looks like it's staying north of the ballpark. That's a good thing. It'll move on up towards the Kansas area, right up I-35. How do you like that report?
That's pretty good. You're hired. Mountaineers try to add to their lead. Tevin Tucker leads things off, then back to the top of the order. They did come out and take the cover off of the tarp. If that means anything, George.
Prior preparation prevents poor performance. Chad, I told you that.
Well, I practiced that with our broadcasts.
Right.
Tevin Tucker's 0 for 2. He is struck out and flied out. One and one. Clayton Beater back out there. Worked a 1-2-3 7th in relief of Hunter Dobbins, who pitched the first 6. Bunt, and a pretty good one. Beater springs to it, and safe at first is Tucker.
You think back, this is what West Virginia did the other day. A couple of bunts, stolen base, and it was off.
Leadoff man aboard, back to the top of the order for Dones.
Perfectly placed bunt. Not hard enough for your third baseman to get. Your pitcher has to get off the mound, plant, and throw. Might have to call that one on a replay there. But oh well, we're throwing a pitch. That replay just went out the window.
If a pitch is made, no replay can be had. And Tucker's on the move to second base, sliding head first. He's out. Replay doesn't matter.
I noticed the tap of the hand saying that his hand bounced as it went over the plate. I think that's the call by Michael Banks. And look again. Watch his hand coming across the bag. Yeah, I think he felt like he got him. They're going to throw a pitch. I get on the mound and throw it as fast as I can. Don't get Maisie time enough to see one of our replays, and then, hey, let's check it.
Tucker caught stealing by Fulford. It's a good tag play by Josh Young as well.
Or maybe it just got a bigger strike zone. all of them looked at the radar. Get a big strike zone. We have strike where he's out. Let's go. We're out of the inning. All right, here we go. We're going to skip the 8th and just go on to the 9th, folks.
I don't think that would go over well.
No, with a lot of people it wouldn't go over well. Some Oklahoma State fans are starting to filter back in with the anticipation of that ball game starting at the conclusion of this one. There'll be a 30-minute break in between games. Big curveball. And a strikeout. That's the one pitch, I think. If I'm watching, I guess, the philosophy of the two teams, everything is away from them. Early in counts, they'll crowd in. If they get ahead, then they go to the breaking ball. And that recipe's been very successful, particularly for West Virginia. They have worked the power hitters away. And I'll give you the fly ball to right field. I'll give you the base hit to right. He just won't stay off that inner half where they hit the ball out of the ballpark to left field.
1-1 to Brandon White, who is 3 for 3. He singled, stole second base, went to third on a throwing error on the stolen base back in the 6th, and scored on a double play ball. That's the second run of the night West Virginia has. Three and one. Red Raiders have not issued a walk tonight. There's a strike.
Of the 6 hits West Virginia has, White's got 3 of those. He's going to try to add some more. He's in a hitter's count, 3 balls, 2 strikes.
And there is ball 4. Let me correct myself. That's the second walk issue by the Red Raiders tonight. 2-out free pass to White brings in Darius Hill, who drew the other walk in the 6th inning. So Brandon White's been on base 4 times in this game. Hill 0 for 1. A walk, a sacrifice, and a strikeout. He drove in the first run with a sac fly in the 3rd. Oklahoma State, TCU will play next. They engaged in a 13-6 slugfest earlier, won by the Horned Frogs. 2 grand slams hit in that game. First time in the history of the Big 12 championship that's happened. In the air, pretty well hit to center. Noisy though, ranges over toward left center, and the inning's over. 2-0. Mountaineers on top. We move to the bottom of the 8th. Wind continues to whistle out toward left field. Storms a brewing tonight. Hopefully we get it all in. A look at the bracket, what remains. We're in the bottom of the 8th. TCU and Oklahoma State play later. And the seeds, the 1 seed, the 4 seed, the 3 seed, and the 6 seed all still remain. And our trivia question, the last time 3 of the top 4 seeds were in the semifinals. You would think it would have happened a lot, but if that were the case, we probably would not ask the question. The producer, Grant Wade, is trying to pull a fast one on us.
Baylor last year. TCU wasn't in the top.
West Virginia 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Yeah, I'm going to stop guessing. Cody Masters at the plate. There's strike 3. Masters caught looking to start the 8th. Here's the answer. Last time we had the 1, the 4, the 3, and the 6 left in the semifinals of the Big 12 championship. 2005. The 1, 2, and 3, and 4 made it that year, as this is popped up by Wilson. And Dones slides over to it. He touched it in foul ground. It's a foul ball.
Well, they're right on top of this. Tim Tadlock thought it was a fair ball, and he was in fair territory when he hit the baseball. He was sliding into foul territory, I believe. Ooh,
That's
maybe
close.
Not. Hey, that's a fair ball.
The
looked
ball
like it landed right on it.
But it looked like maybe his glove touched it in fair territory.
Did it land right on top of it? No, it doesn't matter now. See, if I thought there was any chance for a replay, I'd fireball. Get in, let's go.
Quick pitch.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty quick from Ottinger right there.
Goldsberry did it yesterday for Kansas. Got a strikeout with it.
He sure did.
It was awesome. Here it is right here. Look where the ball lands. Off of the glove. Uh-oh. Fair ball.
Yeah.
That's a fair ball. But in fairness to the umpire at first base,
Tucker ranges over to this one and throws it into the dugout.
Got a little fancy with that. Got underhanded with it and just flipped it, and the ball just sailed on him.
So that goes out of play.
14th error for Tucker at shortstop this year. Cleanly fielded. Now you get a little bit fancy. Just stay behind it, make a nice little throw. Instead, he goes underhanded, going to whip it. And sorry, honey, girl got hit with a camera in the camera well.
So Wilson goes to second, and the potential tying run comes to the plate just like that. First error against the Mountaineers tonight. Well pitched, well defended until now. Will it cost West Virginia?
Watch when the ball gets by. She's trying to take the picture. Watch out, incoming.
Ow.
Takes it right off the arm. Saved that $1,200 camera, though, or more.
Tougher than iron.
If that would have been me
me
and you, we'd have been laying on the floor. I would not have gotten the camera shot.
Easton Morrell 0 for 2. He's fly to right and line to center. One away, Wilson in scoring position. Ottinger continues to pound the strike zone. It's 7 1/3 innings of one-hit ball between Burgert and Ottinger.
There's nobody that feels bad worse than Tucker at shortstop, and you got a sure out in the second out here in the 7th or bottom of the 8th. Excuse me, and then you make that error. Nobody feels worse than him.
Fisted into the seats down the left field line by Easton Morrell.
It's funny, I just got a text from my son. They're playing in the NIT National Tournament soft baseball in Kansas City. They're at the Royals game. He said, my wife, me and Jenny just got on Kiss Cam. I went, like, really? You're nearly 40. Stop.
Oh, they pick everybody to be on Kiss Cam. You've never been on?
No.
It's all fun and games, Kiss Cam, until you show up on that big screen. Then you better do what you're supposed to do.
You'll get booed.
2-2 is fouled off by Morrell.
I don't know if you noticed the pattern. Soft and then hard in. They're trying to jam them. Don't let them extend their hands. Particularly on guys with a little bit of strength that can hit the ball out of the ballpark. Now, Morrell hadn't had a home run. But you don't want him hitting this ball into the air in left field and get a home run out of this thing. We've seen a few squirrels find an acorn in the pasture, so you got to be smart here and make sure you make the right throw.
Full count. Strike 3 called. 2 down. Two strikeouts looking for Ottinger.
Doug Facendo, pinch hit in the first ball game, will pinch hit here. See, 257 on the year. He has a home run and 8 RBIs. Not a lot to show for his body of work this year. Just hadn't got much opportunity.
However, he did get a hit in a pinch hitting role earlier. Facendo had a double, in fact. And the Red Raiders win earlier today over the Mountaineers. Wilson is the runner at second. An error in the inning. Doug Facendo bats for Fulford, who had been 0 for 2. There's a strike.
That's the other thing. Both sets of pitchers on each side of this field have really, really controlled the pace and rhythm of the game. Catch it and throw it. Get in a rhythm and go.
Second verse, same as the first.
Good fastball and a good hard slider down and away. Tough to come off the bench. And big, strong guy trying to catch one, send it out of this ballpark and tie it. Take your shots where you can. And that's exactly what Tim Tadlock's doing here.
0-2 for Facendo. Zach Ottinger on in relief of Ryan Burgert, who allowed 1 hit in 5 innings. Little bit away.
A lot of emotions coming in the last couple of innings in this ball game. 1, they know they get to play tomorrow. 2, they want a lot of pride in this last out. A lot of pride in this win this afternoon.
1-2, lifted into shallow right field, and a foul ball.
I think umpires, and I've asked a few major league umpires, when you miss a pitch in a big situation, do you hope that the next pitch they either strike them out and take the equation away, or a pop fly and it kind of erases it? You know, you're in the 8th or 9th inning of a ball game, you make that nasty slider and it doesn't get called, and then the next pitch is lined into the gap and you had strike 3 and you were in the dugout and the game's over. Now all of a sudden the game's continuing. And the answer was yes. You know, we try to close it out. I've never met one that says I've never missed a pitch.
They're human. Outside. 2-2. Fans hanging on every pitch here at the Chickasaw Bricktown Ballpark. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Doug Facendo. Pinch hitting with a man in scoring position and 2 down in the 8th. And he squibs that one foul. Zach Ottinger trying to pitch around an error in the inning. Foul ball. More lightning off in the distance. Once again, not in the radius.
10-mile radius of the ballpark. If it was, everybody'd be getting off this field right now.
Storms are north and west of downtown Oklahoma City right now.
Yeah, that didn't feel good. Right off the shin above the padding.
And he hits another one foul. What do you say? You get a guy to foul one off his body, come right back in after him?
Yeah, go right back in with the good heat because you're aware of that in there. And, you know, sometimes guys will take and flinch, and You get them out. Some of them throw that hip side slider where you throw that slider right at the hip and let it break to the middle of the plate. Either way you get it, you just want to get an out right now.
To first base, Inman will flip it to Ottinger. Inning over. Ottinger pitches around an error. And the Mountaineers will take a 2-0 lead into the ninth. A little light rain beginning to fall. We move on to the top of the ninth inning. The Mountaineers' final chance to tack on some insurance runs. Let us recap how they got to 2-0. Sacrifice fly by Darius Hill that scored Tyler Dones with run number 1 in the top of the third. And then White a single, stole second, went to third on an error, and scored on a double play ball. The speed of Brandon White providing run number 2 for the Mountaineers. They're going to try to add to that. They will have to do so against a new pitcher. For the Red Raiders, it is right-hander Caleb Freeman. So we've talked about Burgert and Ottinger and how terrific they have been for the Mountaineers tonight. How about Dobbins and Beater for Texas Tech? The freshman Dobbins, 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs with a walk and 5 strikeouts. And then Beater gave just 1 hit in 2 innings, and he struck out 3. So now it is Caleb Freeman on for his 16th appearance.
Leading off for the Mountaineers, the first baseman, Marcus Inman.
And we will also see a new catcher coming on for the Red Raiders, Cole Stillwell replacing Fulford. So a new battery. Marcus Inman leads things off. Pulls one foul outside third. Inman 0 for 3. He hit into that double play on which White scored back in the 6th inning. Lines this one at the right fielder Gabe Holtz, who barely has to move to squeeze out number 1. Seven hits combined between these two teams and only 1 for Texas Tech. They still have 3 outs to go. West Virginia trying to pad a 2-run lead. And Paul McIntosh, 1 for 2 with a base hit back in the 6th inning, will be the batter. Goes after that one, comes up empty. McIntosh drove one down the left field line into the corner in his last at bat. Turned first, went to second, was gunned down by Kurt Wilson. So a base hit, but caught trying to stretch it into a double. 1-1. TCU and Oklahoma State scheduled to play after this to determine the winner of Division II here in Bricktown. One and 2. Downstairs to Paul McIntosh. Ivan Gonzalez is on deck. Red Raider pitching has issued 2 walks. Mountaineer pitching none. There's the 2-2. He went around, says the plate umpire, Jeff Henricks, and Stillwell will have to throw down to Cameron Warren to make the putout official. 2 gone. So Caleb Freeman has retired the first 2 Mountaineers in the ninth. Batter will be Ivan Gonzalez. That's 9 combined strikeouts for Texas Tech pitching, and the first for Freeman. Ivan Gonzalez is 0 for 3 tonight. Fastball a little bit inside to Gonzalez. Texas Tech fans groan a little bit about that one. A 3-0 strike is in there. Ball 4 up and in. Third walk issued by Texas Tech pitching in this game. Caleb Freeman pitched 2/3 of an inning in the game between these two teams earlier in the week. Junior out of Katy, Texas. Honorable mention All Big 12. That pitch will go all the way back to the back screen. Kevin Brophy is 0 for 3.
A couple of pop outs and a strikeout. Well, we mentioned earlier with Beater, he can get a little wild. So they changed, and I forgot to find out from you while I was off running to the men's room.
We'll forgive you.
This time?
Gonzalez in scoring position, could be an important insurance run with 2 outs. Little downstairs. Brophy has 3 hits in the Big 12 championship. Two and 1 now. That's some gas. 94 miles an hour.
And the scouts tell me the radar gun here on the screen is on the big screen out in center field is about 2 miles an hour light. That 94 is 96.
It looks it. It's rifle foul past third base.
Yeah, you better start that swing a little earlier. The alarm hadn't gone off yet.
Two and 2 to Brophy.
That is rare back, get a little country hard ball, turn it loose, see what happens. And he
Swing
did.
and a miss. High heat from Caleb Freeman. Red Raiders down to their final 3 outs. They have only 1 hit tonight, but they will have the top of the lineup coming to the plate in the bottom of the 9th inning, trying to fight on to the championship of the Phillips 66th Big 12 Baseball Championship. This This is the 2019 Phillips 66 Big 12 Baseball Championship. The Raleigh Gorilla perched atop the cap of a Red Raider, hoping to spark something for the top-seeded Red Raiders. They've got the Raleigh Gorillas everywhere. Holt, Noisy, and Klein. Zach Ottinger has been terrific, as has the West Virginia pitching all night long.
Man, they're getting pretty loud downstairs trying to fire them up. Will they be able to do that here in the last inning?
They are right behind home plate and boisterous into the plate microphone.
They could be really nice. They could be really nice back in Norman and turn it off. In my headset, anyway.
Pitches outside to Gabe Holt. Holt 0 for 3. Just one hit for Texas Tech tonight. That by Cameron Warren in the 5th inning. 3-1. Burgert 5 scoreless innings. He gave 1 hit. Ottinger 3 innings so far, and he has not given a hit. 7 strikeouts and no walks for West Virginia pitching. 3-2.
A left-right combination is throwing in West Virginia's bullpen.
Pulled to first base. Kevin Brophy is over there now.
Heck of a job, Chad, by Ottinger to be able to come back on a 3-0 count to work his way back to get the leadoff out.
There you see what they have done in little movement out there. Brophy to first. Andrew Zeitel is now playing third. So defensive changes.
Maisie feels like this a little upgrade defensively, a little more athletic, and that's what he's chose to do. He's done this a couple of times in the tournament so far.
Dylan Noisy 0 for 3. One and one. And a ball and 2 strikes.
Chased one out of the zone. And to be honest with you, Noisy looks a little anxious at the plate. Not a lot of success here in the Big 12 tournament compared to when I saw him and Norman swing the bat. Kind of 2 different guys right now. Yeah, they'll need him to get hot in the regional.
Tough play. Barehanded. Throw to first. Backhanded by Brophy. 2 gone.
Realizing where the weather is around here, and they have another game tonight, and respect for everyone involved. They're sprinting down the dugout tunnel, as they should be, to get there.
So they do scurry over to look at this replay. For now, Noisy is retired. That's the call. Have to have the indisputable evidence to overturn it. Let's look at it again.
He's out. I mean, it's cleanly caught. And great backhand by Brophy. The foot stayed on the bag the whole way. The ball beat him. It shouldn't be. This shouldn't take a whole lot of time right now, folks.
And it didn't. Quickly affirmed. I think maybe the only possible thing you might have wondered is, did the foot come off the bag?
Yeah, the toe lift off when he caught the baseball.
So Brian Klein, all that's standing between West Virginia and their first trip to the Big 12 championship game since 2016. A combined 1-hit shutout so far by Ryan Burgert and Zach Ottinger. And that's been the story all night long for this pitching staff. Strike 1.
That's a wonderful thing when you can pull it off, and that's they have pulled it off tonight.
Ground ball gobbled up by Dones, and the Mountaineers are moving on to the Big 12 title game. West Virginia will play for the championship tomorrow. They'll do so for the first time since 2016. A combined 1-hit shutout by Burgert and Ottinger. and
Let me
just
tell you,
enough offense.
I can tell you right now, to throw a one-hitter out at these guys from Texas Tech, you've done something as a pitching staff. They're a very good hitting team, and quite an accomplishment. Hats off to the two youngsters from West Virginia that are able to pull that off.
And so for the Red Raiders, well, they'll be hosting a regional once the assignments come out at Dan Law Field. The regular season champs bow out here in the Big 12 semifinals. Here at the 2019 Phillips 66 Big 12 Baseball Championship. One more game to go tonight. West Virginia needs an opponent for tomorrow's 1 o'clock title game. The Cowboys and Horned Frogs will determine who that will be. TCU beat Oklahoma State 13-6 earlier today. Bill Dolman, Mickey Tettleton will call that one for you. Hopefully the weather holds here in about 30 to 45 minutes from the Chickasaw Bricktown Ballpark. And it looks like they are rolling out the tarp right now, in fact. So the tarp is being rolled out. West Virginia to the championship game. A combined one-hit shutout by Burgert and Ottinger. And the Mountaineers will play for the Big 12 title tomorrow in Bricktown. For our great Fox Sports crew and my partner George Frazier, I'm Chad McKee. We'll talk to you next time from the Phillips 66 Big 12 Baseball.